You are listening to Hello Cupcake, It's Me, a podcast with your host, Michael Peterson.
Hey everyone, Michael here with Hello Cupcake, It's Me, a podcast, and oh my goodness, it has been a very long week. If you haven't done so already, please hit like and subscribe, then head on over to youtube.com/hellocupcakeitsme to check out the YouTube channel that is updated every Wednesday and Saturday. Make sure you give hellocupcakeitsme.com some love. Follow me on TikTok for TikTok Tuesdays, and check out all the other social medias, and check out my book, Carpe Diem Scroto, 365 Daily Affirmations, found at www.cdsthebook.com. So sorry for the very late podcast. A lot of just personal and family drama happening all at once, plus getting like my car back, and we'll get into all of that in just a minute. But I completely forgot Wednesday to do the update video because there was a bunch of shit that happened Wednesday, and all day today I have just been putting out little fires here and there. So let's get into that, shall we? So Monday I got my car back, and got a phone call saying, hey, come get your car. The bill has been completely paid by a anonymous angel donor financier person, and they told me that the car may still need some work done, but the most obvious of it has been taken care of, which was a cracked radiator, a oil sensor, and it needed all new hoses, and they did a oil change and replaced the oil filter gasket ring thing. So I was very thankful, very blessed that all took place. They told me that my check engine light may come back on. If it did come in, they would check it out and clear the codes, and I could go on about my business. Did all of that. Literally pulled out of their driveway, not even made it a block. The lights turn on after they were like, oh yeah, we weren't able to get the codes to come on at all. I'm like, bullshit, you guys didn't drive it. Like, it's okay. Like, I know the idiosyncrasies that my car has, and them telling me that they couldn't get the light to come back on, I was like, you didn't drive it. Well, yeah, we did. We drove it around and we couldn't get it to come back on. I said, did you accelerate? Did you like step on the gas? Did you get it up over 5,000 RPM and making it shift and stuff like that? Oh, no, we didn't do that. Like, well, that's not driving. That's not test driving. Your car's never supposed to be up that high, but my car shifts at a very high RPM. And it's got like this booster on it. So anyways, I was like, okay, cool, whatever. High fives all around. So after they did the coding on it, they said, okay, well, your next step is to do XYZ. I'm like, cool, give me until February or March just to save up a little bit more money, and we will attack it at that point. So that's what I'm going to do, is take it back in for a few days, have them do all the work, and call it good. For the family shit now. So Sunday, I found out that one of my uncles had a massive heart attack, and it was a pretty bad one, but he's recovering and no lingering effects from that. So high fives, we're happy about that. I did not realize that this was his second heart attack, but okay, cool, whatever. My mom's um friends, who she considers her brother and her sister, um he had to have exploratory heart surgery done, where they went up through the groin and went in there with a camera, and they like repaired some of the holes in his heart and stuff and found multiple others. So he had heart issues. And then three different people in my life have been like touched by breast cancer. Um so my cousin, right before the holidays, had to have breast cancer treatments done. My other cousin, um she got diagnosed with breast cancer, and she had her operation for her breast cancer a couple of days ago, and thankfully the doctor said that they got 100% of it. They checked the other breast, and there was no signs of any cancer in there. And um I'm not sure as of yet if she's going to have to do chemo or anything else like that, because they said that it was a very clean removal, and the only other surgery that she has to do is to go in and have those pockets filled. And I was like, okay, awesome, we're happy for that. And then a friend of mine who used to work for my family when we owned childcare, just announced on Facebook that she has breast cancer. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, like, could cancer just go away already? Like, if we put 1/4 of the efforts into curing cancer that we are putting into the whole Venezuela bullshit, the whole ICE bullshit, the whole like Viagra or moon orbiters or any of that other stuff, it would be gone. But because it's $1 trillion industry, they're not going to make it go away anytime soon. And it's disgusting. But anyways, so my heart, my thoughts, my prayers out to all of them. And then my aunt, who I went on the Alaskan cruise with back in 2018, I called her the other day, and she was in the hospital with pneumonia and found out that her lung had calcified, and she was only able to use 80% of her left lung. And she sounded like Darth Vader having an asthma attack when I talked to her. And I am just so worried about her. Like, when she passes, she is the last of my biological egg cartons family. Like, everyone else's cousins. And it's not that line needed to be continued, but my aunt was so much different and so much better than my biological mom and that whole side of the family. Mainly because she wasn't raised by my biological mom's mother. And so, yeah, a lot of issues, a lot of things to unpack there. But anyways, so that, coupled with the just random shit that I have going on, and my own mental health and the therapy that I have going on. I see my therapist every Wednesday, and I do group therapy every other week. So I did group therapy today, which threw me off for having to do the podcast. And so yeah, just trying to juggle all of that plus my day-to-day life. And then I have more dental coming up on Monday, and it's supposed to be an extraction, but the tooth right behind that, the tooth that needs to be just extracted, the one that's directly behind it, has started breaking off. And so I don't know if they're going to repair that first or if they're just going to extract the tooth. Either way, I'm not happy about the tooth being extracted. There is a abscess under that tooth that I have been popping daily, and I'm supposed to be taking antibiotics for it. But I have yet to do so. So I think maybe over the weekend I will take a couple of the antibiotics and just call it good, or just leave it alone. I really don't want that tooth removed, and the only reason that it has the abscess under it is because I was cleaning stuff out of the broken tooth and nicked the gum with my fingernail, and afterwards it just inflamed and then got the abscess. So yeah, I don't want to have it take I don't want it taken out of, because that's the only teeth that I have that are solid on that side of my mouth, and it's not causing me any problems. It's not causing me any pain, and I'm just fighting it right now. But whatever is going to be done is going to be done come Monday. And as soon as they do that tooth, then it's got to heal, and then they're going to do the other tooth, and then I'm sure they're going to do a deep socket and plaque cleaning, because I haven't had that done in a couple of years. And I fucking hate the way that they do it now. They do it in quadrants. So they do from the top to the middle tooth, from the back of your mouth to the middle of your front teeth. Then you come back a week later or a couple of days later, and then they do the other part, and then they do that on the bottom. So by the time it's all said and done, you've gone like a week, or I'm sorry, a month, or maybe even 2, with having your mouth completely cleaned or whatever. And I'm going to try to beg and plead with them to do all of the top and then do all of the bottom like a week later or a couple of days later, however I can make that work. I also found out that they stopped making the insulin that I use. They no longer create it into a bottle. They only do it into a insulin pen. And my doctor wants to put me back on insulin that he originally took me off of 8 or 9 years ago, because my body was no longer reacting to that insulin. And I am not okay with this. And he does not seem to remember that. And that's got me fucking stressed out. I've been having chest pains, and I am messing around with my blood pressure medication, just trying to find where I need it to be at. I started taking 2 a day for an entire week, and I felt like super lightheaded and dizzy and everything else. And so I was like, okay, fuck this. Let's step it back a notch. And I went back to just taking 1 pill a day, and then I bumped it up to 1.5. That seems to be working. I don't know. I'm going to stay at 1.5 for the next couple of weeks and see if my stress levels come down from that or what's going on. I still need to go in and have nuclear testing done, and that scares the shit out of me, but it might just be one of those things that I have to like suck it up and go have that done. So yeah, just a bunch of stuff going on, and none of it good, none of it like, well, I mean, some of it's good. I'm complaining about being like having to have these medical procedures when I know that there's people out there who don't have medical insurance. So, you know, this is 100% first world problems, and I completely understand that. It's just the stress and duress that it's causing me, and I psych myself up. And I have this huge phobia of dental work, anyways. And, you know, thankfully, I learned about nitrous oxide, and my dentist he's allowed me to do nitrous oxide as well as the injections, and that has worked out tremendously well for me. Um, so we'll see what happens with that. Um, Otherwise, uh, there has just been these long pauses in my day where I am just not doing anything, and I am finding very little joy and happiness in the things that I am doing. And it sucks, but um, it is a uh, point of note, like a notification for my therapist. As we were wrapping up our session yesterday, um, she's like, "What do you want to talk about next time?" So then that way we can get into it. And I'm like, "Okay, and we need to talk about my lack of interest in doing things. We need to talk about this. We need to talk about that. We need to do this. We need to do that. And I need to be focused and wrangled in. Like, give me 5 or 10 minutes to just like word vomit and then focus me." And she's like, "Okay, sounds good." So just, yeah. Anyways, uh, been watching a lot of TV, needless to say. Been rewatching Heated Rivalry, and my God, I fucking love that show. Um, and I love the characters, or the actors who play the characters outside of the show, like watching how they interact with one another, how just like their on-screen chemistry has translated to just a friendship chemistry. And I don't know if it's all just show for the cameras, because it has become such an overnight success, but I absolutely love it. And um there's been a lot of mixed reviews, especially around people who are anti LGBTQIA2S community. And it's not for everyone. There's also been some criticizing from the gay community. And one of the things that I saw was like, "Oh, they shouldn't," this was coming from another queer person as they were writing this, "Oh, they shouldn't be showing this because blah blah, and it's sexually charged, and teenagers don't need to be seeing this," or whatever. And I'm like, I actually responded to this, and that's like one of my like things that I'm trying to do, is stay out of the comment section. Um, like, I'll put my 2 cents into the comment section, and then I walk away and try not to go back to it. That's very difficult, but anyways, I put, "This is actually the most healthiest depiction of a gay romance that we've had in decades." And growing up in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, there was very little to no gay or lesbian representation in the media, without it being like the flamboyant, over the top gay drama queen type of character, and never them being the main character, them always being like a sidekick type situation. I said, so, the first time that we had any kind of representation with stuff like this was Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, Billy's Hollywood Screen Kiss, which is still like a B-listed movie, so it really didn't get out there with like the gusto that it should have had. The Broken Hearts Club, another like B-listed kind of indie film type of a movie that didn't get the gusto that it should have. I said, we also had like the groundbreaking TV show Queer's Folk and the L Word, which showed everyday people holding down jobs, but also going to the gay clubs and like the stuff that happened behind doors. But, um, you know, there was never just this like, here's this couple who are in professional um in professional sports and having to not only hide their sexuality from their fans and their loved ones, but having to circumnavigate the homophobia and just disapproval across the board. And even though it takes place mainly in Ottawa or in Canada, but I think it's in the Ottawa, Toronto area. But even though it takes place in that part of the country, it was still kind of like a taboo subject. And I think that it's a beautiful representation of what it was like, is like, and can be like for two consenting people to have this love and this relationship. And I said, it's no different than somebody watching Game of Thrones. And we automatically assume that teenagers are not on Pornhub or whatever else watching these fictitious acts between people and getting the wrong idea about what gay sex is or what sex is in general, and the just fetish I can't say that, fetish like culture and all this other stuff. I'm like, yeah, you see some bedroom scenes with quick like takeaway cuts and stuff, but it is a very tastefully done thing and it puts it into context. So, if you're okay with your kid watching Game of Thrones or Fallout or any of the other shows that have been on in the last 5 or 10 years, then them watching this is like, you know, it's good. So, and I know not everyone's going to agree with me on that, and I don't give a damn. Like, I would rather my kids watch a show like that, of course, for them to be appropriate, but, I would rather my teens and tweens watch a show like that, get an idea of what an actual relationship looks like, and then ask questions rather than them get on Pornhub and watch, whatever, and take it completely out of context and think that that's how you're supposed to treat your partner. And, that is something that you and your partner have to discuss. And, it just gets out of hand way, way too quickly. So, that being said, though, I'm rewatching all of that just to say that I'm rewatching Heated Rivalry, and I've been watching some other TV shows and trying to stay up to date with Fallout. And I haven't started Knights of the Seven Kingdoms or whatever the prequel to Game of Thrones is, because it just started. And yeah, and outside of that, I have been really taking some time to kind of invest into myself. I saw this really amazing quote the other day that said, stop investing in clutter and start investing in stop investing in clutter and start investing in connections. And I that like hit me in my soul. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I have been investing in a lot of clutter. Like, it's things that bring me happiness, but at the end of the day, it clutters my home. It clutters my space. Is it a representation of who I am and of my nerdy side and of my fandoms and so on and so forth? Yes. But I was like, I'm going to add a caveat to that. Stop investing in clutter, start investing in connections, and start investing in yourself. And so what I have started doing is I started buying myself nicer clothing. I've started taking time with my appearance. I've started taking time curating my fragrance collection. I am a scent whore. I have all kinds of colognes and perfumes and oils and what have you. And I love scents. I don't care if it's a perfume for a woman. If I like the way that it smells, I'm wearing it. If it's a strong, musky, masculine smell, if it's something that I like, I'm wearing it. Like, one of my all-time favorite colognes is Aqua de Jo. Absolutely love Aqua de Jo. I also love Burberry, and I love Calvin Klein CK1. And there is another one that is a total bottom shelf, a step up from Dollar Tree cologne called Bod, and it's a specific smell, and it comes in the blue bottle, and it's called Really Ribbed Abs, and that is my all-time favorite, like, cheap-ass cologne. My other favorite cologne is Aspen. I don't wear Aspen at all anymore, but that was like 15 to 18. That's all I wore. And so, you know, I'm starting to invest in myself. So I'm looking at like everything that I'm doing right now. I'm investing in myself by going to the dentist and getting my teeth worked on. I'm investing in myself by doing these virtual marathons. I'm investing in myself by walking, by trying to live a better lifestyle, by working on my mental health, by just doing all these other things. So yeah, that's what's been going on in a nutshell. So I think for now I'm going to let you go with that, and I will add more to all of that come on the Saturday video. And again, I am sorry that things got away from me, but you know, I just had to take a moment to step away from everything and deal with myself, my family, and just take a moment to breathe. So yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and let you go on that. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please put them in the comments section down below. And remember, in a world full of Karens, be somebody who cares in the world. And remember that you are doing the best with what you have available to you. And until next time, I will talk to you then. Bye, everyone.
Hey you! Tired of mental health books that feel like homework or therapy sessions in disguise? Carpe Diem Scroto is not that book. Written by author Michael Peterson, utilizing his own personal mental health journey, it's your daily dose of clarity, humor, and healing, designed to meet you exactly where you are. Whether you're sipping coffee in chaos or taking a quiet minute for yourself, this book gives you real, raw tools to reframe your day, your mindset, and your life. Unlike anything else on the market, Carpe Diem Scroto blends personal storytelling, practical mental health strategies, and a keep-it-real attitude that makes self-work feel like self-empowerment. Use it daily, share it with a friend, or grow at your own pace. Ready to reclaim your day with bite-sized brilliance? Head to www.cdsthebook.com to grab your copy or learn more.
Thank you so much for tuning in. You have been listening to Hello Cupcake, It's Me, a podcast with your host, Michael Peterson. Please make sure to check back often as new episodes are released bi-weekly. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to send a message to hellocupcakeitsme@gmail.com. And until next time, stay happy, safe, and keep doing the best you can with what you have been given.